Okay, so there you go. The streak is unbroken. 27 days straight. Now, I tried with all my heart to make the live broadcast happen at Comfest, but to no avail. I failed miserably, only for the fact that there was no Ethernet connection. And I can use just my laptop, but then you wouldn't have had multiple cameras and it wouldn't have been as fun. Because the fact is I need an Ethernet connection to make the black magic work. I packed everything up. I went down to the radio station today and I grabbed a cabbage case. I took everything apart today, everything. I had the black magic, I had my laptop, I had the second laptop, I had wires, I had cables, I had the connectors, I had 2 different cameras. Hence why this camera now is a different camera, because it's no longer the GoPro. It's one of the Panasonics, because I've got like 3 of these little barrel Panasonic cameras, these things, which are great because they work also. And they can take a little more abuse, and I'm going to take the big Nikon. So I had those. I was all set to do it, and the Ethernet did not work. There was no connection, no connectivity. I tried everything, and no one could assist, so I finally just had to bail on it. And I had to, like, just bailed. So, but that's what happened. So I got everything connected back together, I believe. But I may have discovered how to have audio. Now, I will warn you that some of the audio is just crazy. It's just crazy. Today was nuts. Comfest was as is to be expected as Comfest. Now, the first part here sort of goes with today was National Sunglasses Day. So you can see that, in fact, look, I had my sunglasses on. That was me in the back of the golf cart when I first got there today. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play it because it was kind of funny for a minute, and then I'll skip ahead. But you may have audio. I don't know. So let's see. Up there's Sam, who helped last night.
Where are you
Sam,
going?
it's a little bit jumpy. I'm not sure what happened. Look. It's a police escort. So I had a police escort, which I thought was kind of funny. So did I say I'm going to have a police escort? Look, Don says audio. I have audio. Look at that. So I had a police escort while I was being driven on a golf cart. Slowly. I was going to fast forward this, but I didn't get time to edit it. So there you go. You have audio. I figured it out. See, I figured it out finally. Now, you probably still have audio because I have to turn it off or stop it. But there you go. So this was just the drive that was happening through Comfest. So you can just see the beer tent, and there was like through the gates of the park and vendors, and it was early. It was early this afternoon, so it wasn't really happening much. Okay. Now, the thing is that, all right, this next video, okay, so I got there a little early. Like I said, I wanted to see the band Weed Demon, all right? So Weed Demon is a heavy metal band that used to play at the Big Room all the time. Jordan is the lead singer. And he's a good dude. Now, during this show, Weed Demon, I was away. I didn't have to MC until 7 o'clock. So this is like 5 o'clock, 5:45, 6 o'clock, and I went across the park to go get something, and the wind picked up. And I mean, it got windy, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And then the sky got dark, and the wind really picked up, and a couple of tents went crashing down, and garbage cans were flying everywhere. Sorry, my voice is a little scruffy tonight because I kept on going, woo, on stage tonight. So now my voice sounds like I smoked a pack of Marlboros. A little scruffy, Lucille Ball. So I got back to the main stage, a little bit wet, and then the storm came. Now, these guys are playing, okay? So you just have to watch this. This is about 30 seconds, okay? This is 30 seconds of, and you'll see, it is freaking raining. It should catch up. It is raining. Now, everyone's still dancing, having fun, but pay attention to the lead singer, Jordan, with the guitar. That's it. Look above him. Do you see the ceiling? Do you see it's always starting to a little bit of a bubble above him? And notice how it starts to grow even as we're watching this video. I was watching the people, but you have to look at the video. Now look how big it is. I mean, it was raining. I mean, the electric, they're still playing it, I realize, okay? And they're still playing. Which, to me, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even put the video on. Dang it. Okay. Play isn't. Oh, all right. So hold on. I got to go back because you have to see this. This is this. You have to see this. So I go there, there. Okay. So now you can see it. So you can see it is raining out. I mean, it is an absolute downpour. Okay. Now the band is playing. Look above the lead singer, the guy that's to the left of the screen with the guitar, and look above his head. You see the bubble that's forming? Okay, that's the water that's gathering on the roof of this thing. And I mean, they're still jamming, like they're moving this up out of the rain. It is pouring out. People are dancing, and it is just going. Okay, and it was kind of crazy to say the very least. All right. Now, I was staying off the stage. Electronics and water, I know very well, do not mix that well. And so I stayed off the stage. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go to the stage. Now, the next video is the continuation of this, okay? This deluge of rain that occurred. Now, I've got to warn you a little bit. It's about 1:50, but it is just nuts, okay? To the point where everybody had to deal with this and stop it, okay? So watch this crazy. All right? Now look at the bubble above his head. That is literally the roof collapsing from the weight of the water. Okay? It is so, I mean, the wind is ripping, the rain is blowing, they're moving equipment, but they're still playing in the pouring rain. And that bubble is the entire roof. Now they're starting to freak out because that was so much water weight. He was still playing though. He's like, okay, stop it. Just stop. Cut off the audio. And the band's still in. The drummer's still drumming. He's still beating the skins. And these guys are like, okay, we need to get this out. The one sound guy, the one audio guy, stage guy, was literally afraid that the whole thing was going to collapse. So these guys all rush over there to try and get this bubble of water off the stage. Now, if you notice the guy to the right, the bottom right-hand corner, he was cranking down the stage itself to lower the front of the stage and try and get the water to come off the front of the stage. So these guys are pushing this giant bubble of water. As you see, it's moving toward him to make a low spot. Now, I mean, the rain is just coming. It is not stopping. And look at this. They're going to poke it with a stick. There was one guy with a knife who was literally ready to cut open the entire roof of this thing because it was just so much weight. So the guy cranking down on the right-hand side was the stage manager. And he was like, I can do it, but then this happens. The amount of water, look, he's just raising his arm. He's like, all right, I'm soaked. The amount of water coming off this is like a waterfall. And we're just laughing because he's just getting drowned like a rat. I mean, look at that water. It was crazy. It was just insane. It was totally nuts how much water was coming off the roof of this thing. I laughed. I said, I'm filming for insurance purposes. Tomorrow is National Insurance Awareness Day. So I tie it right back into that. National Insurance Awareness Day, tomorrow. So I wore my sunglasses and I filmed because tomorrow's National Insurance Awareness Day. But that was crazy. I mean, it really was. That band, you got to give them either credit or think that they're completely nuts for continuing to play during that rainstorm. Okay? Because, I mean, it really was at some point dangerous. It really was, I have to admit. Now, this is where my voice started to get rough because of this. In the pouring, I am soaked to the bone because I got stuck in the rain, running, and dealing with under this tent that really wasn't doing a very good job. And the line from Caddyshack is, I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite some time. As you can see, it is just going. and pouring, and it did not stop for quite some time. It finally stopped, and the next band came on. They were great. Hold on, this is playing. The next band came on, and the woman who was the lead singer, Kelly Bowman, she had some pipes. They had 2 flying V guitars on stage, 2. And she had some amazing pipes. It was crazy. She was singing like Ronnie James Dio, these heavy metal songs, and she was so good. We were all laughing though because they had 2 flying V guitars on this stage, and the crowd was rather sparse for the fact that it had just poured out, and there wasn't a lot of people in the park at the moment. So it added to the hilarity of it. It really did, and that continued. It continued on. Shortly thereafter, there was another band, and I did not film them. They were uniquely different, let's put it that way. And they put on an interesting show, to say the very least. The one guy was mopping up the stage, wet stage, with his body as he was flailing around on the stage. One of the stage managers was like, I'm from Dublin. I drive a Volvo. I don't know what this is. Which I thought was hilarious. She was being facetious, but it was just because it was just this crazy performance. It was a very visual, musical performance by this band. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. And it is PTSD Awareness Day today, so I definitely was getting a little PTSD from this performance because it was a little bit crazy. It was chaos. It was a chaos performance, to say the very least. Afterwards, it came back, and it was time for Willie Phoenix. So Willie, in his infamous wisdom, I did an intro and got Willie on stage. This was Willie on stage. So you can see there's a massive crowd for Willie Phoenix. Willie just belting out wood. He is a legend, not in just Columbus, but he is a blues man. Born in Alabama, 46 albums. 46 albums. Think about that. And he's still producing. He's still making music. From hearing Weed Demon, yes. You're speaking too softly when you're playing the video. Audio can't hear you. Oh, well, I don't. Okay, I don't know if is it maybe cutting me out when I'm talking, or is my voice changing the? I don't think I'm talking any differently. Maybe it's that the video overshadows it. I can try this. I'll try a different thing. So, no, you started speaking softer. Oh, okay. Well, I won't speak softer. I was trying to be respectful of the video. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Give me a break here, people. All right, so I can do this. I can turn that off. I can do this and go to the next video. And see, that one I'm going to skip because I don't know what the hell that was. I think I just hit the camera. I think that's what happened. I accidentally hit the camera, and it did its thing. So Willie was great. Put on an amazing set. The audience was fired up. It's just, he's such a good cat. He really is. If you aren't from Columbus, you can look up Willie Phoenix. And we hung out after the show and, sort of get together next week, which we will. And I told the story about his street sign that I got from the city. As I told the other night, I got it from their warehouse and presented it to him, that he has now in his studio. And it's nice to know these musicians more so than on a very, fundamental level of like, oh yeah, this is this band, but so it was very nice. Now, I did go meet Brian Phillips this morning at Colin's Coffee House. Colin is in Watershed. Colin also played with Willie Phoenix. He played backup guitar for him. So that was great. So I got to see Brian this morning, and I got to see Colin. Now, Collins and Watershed, he's one of the lead singers, him and Joe. And this was their 40th anniversary tour. They started in 1985, and they've been touring for 40 years. They've got 12 albums. They're playing in a couple of weeks or so at Natalie's in Grandview. And they're great. Watershed's great. They're such a good band. They've been doing this for again, 40 years. The original members were there tonight. They have a second drummer. They didn't play together, but he actually, as the original drummer, came and played with them. And it was great to see. It really was, to have these guys play. And the crowd loved it. They ate it up. They were singing along, and people knew the words. So I was very happy to be able to do that. Now, I had some other video, and I didn't. I had the camera right here on my hip. You can see I had it like right here. So it was, I must have hit it, and I took a bunch of video of just the stage, backstage, random stuff. It just looks like it's kind of crappy, so I didn't edit it because I haven't had a chance to. This is raw, so you're seeing it just like me for the very first time. I didn't get to see it at all. This is the closing then. This is right when Watershed ended, and I went and did my stage announcements. I'm guessing. I did not see this, so I'll make sure that the audio is working for that, and then I'll click this so you can see that, and then I will click this, and there you go. Yeah, see, it's buffering because I think it is that this is the end of Willie, so this is when it's finished. You can see Colin from Watershed is just there on your left. I handed somebody else the camera to film this, so I don't know if they did a good job or not, I can't tell. But I was very happy to do this at Comfest, as well as to do it for Phoenix. So I was very happy to do this. That looks like that's a minute. I don't think doing guitar. Again, really. And I don't want to say how old he is, but he's 36 hours. He's been doing this for a long time. Spring chicken at all. Which is amazing how much energy he has. Like Rolling Stones or Paul McCartney. You can just see. So good, so good. Maybe down to 7. You have to let me know if that maybe is better. So you can't hear me over the video. I don't know if it closes me out or what it does. I think it still works. I don't know if that's better. But I lowered the volume a little bit. There's Willie. Works there. Say goodnight. You know, there's me. Pick up the mic and did my thing. I am now the MC for this goodbye to Willie and get ready for work. It was great crowd. Really good show tonight. And I just dig doing this stuff. This is what I did for a lot of years. You know, the biggest crowd I ever was in front of was almost 50,000. Did that at Roma. The smallest. There's a couple of other events I've done, but this is a big crowd. There was thousands of people at this thing. You don't need to watch this whole video. It's long. I'm just sitting there and talking about how great he is, the legend he is, blah, 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 blah. So we'll just go back to that. But there you go. I tried my best to do a live broadcast from. Oops, it didn't stop. I tried to do my best. I tried to do the live broadcast from Comfest. Absolutely couldn't do it. Did not have the ability to do it. Even though I did take all the equipment and I had everything ready to go, it was just, I was thwarted at every turn. It really was. And I had a case, you know, I spray painted Randsanity on it. It's an old, it's actually an antenna case for our live broadcast when we used to use a thing called a Marty. This is way before, this is wireless technology at its finest, where it was almost like shooting a microwave, point to point. You had to point this antenna toward the receiving dish on a building downtown, which was nuts if you think about it. I'm sure that we should not have been that close to the antenna. You had to raise it up pretty high, but you know, we're sending a lot of watts across the city to get this thing to work. I'm sure somebody got damaged by that. At least I tried. I did. I tried so much, Starry Traveler. I did. I almost got to work. But now I know I have to have an Ethernet connection to make the black magic work. It cannot, there's no wireless effect that'll work. I cannot do it on a Wi-Fi connection. I can't even do it on a cellular connection, unless somehow I'd have a cellular connection that would give me a physical line into the little machine. It requires that line has to be in and feel it, because I'm not broadcasting from my computer. I'm literally broadcasting from the little machine. Figured that out. Just like I figured out the audio, which I was very happy to figure out the audio. That made me happy today, that I was like, ah, there it is. And all it took was me to go online and read about the damn thing. Idiot. All right, so today was National Sunglasses Day. You saw I wore my sunglasses. It was also National Onion Day, which was founded in 2019, which seems kind of odd that it was only like onions have been around longer than that. It was also National Ice Cream Cake Day. I did not have any ice cream cake today. I did want some, but I did not get to eat today much because I was really busy running around doing crap. That was founded in 2018. And again, I'm like, that seems odd. And then it's Orange Blossom Day. It's supposed to be the orange blossom is a symbol of good fortune as well as happiness. It also is the blossom that gives us oranges. So yeah, it can't be a bad thing, because if we like oranges, well, you need a blossom to make the orange. You need bees to give you blossoms. I still didn't look up the whole lightning bug thing yet, and I will. Just today, I did not get a chance to even get on the computer. So I don't know what happened in the world besides whatever I did. Very, very encapsulated today. Did not have any outside influence whatsoever. Just because I was busy Comfesting and trying to get this stupid thing to broadcast, and then I had to do work stuff. So yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing. I had to go buy parts and pieces. I had to go buy a 100-foot cable that I didn't get to use. So I'll return that, or I'll keep it. I don't know. I just was. And then PTSD Awareness Day. So yes, if you do know anybody that has PTSD for real, all joking aside, reach out. Give people a hand, lift people up, don't tear people down. It's easier to do the latter and tear people down than it is to lift them up. But you know what? We're all in this together. We're all in the struggle together, and it is real, so keep that in mind. Tomorrow is National Mural Day, which was founded in 2025. So it gives me hope that there's a National Randsanity Day. I am going to find out who writes this stuff, and I'm going to push for it. There's also National Foodie Day, which is also established in 2025. And I'm like, really? So how, that's now. So this is like the first one? So National Mural Day is the first one, that's today? Because today's 2025. And then Foodie Day is today? Is the first one? So again, there's got to be a way for me to get on this list. It's also National Logistics Day. Okay, thank you, UPS. National Alaska Day, which, all right, good job, Alaska. Don't know what today's relevance is, but that's because I didn't look and didn't have time. And then National Insurance Awareness Day, which again, I filmed for insurance purposes in case Jordan got electrocuted while performing for Weed Demon. Which I'm glad nobody was injured by that. Neither, except for the stage manager that got soaked, because that was kind of hilarious that he got drowned like a rat. And we were discussing how, if you remember, phones used to be, if you got like a drop of water on them, they exploded. And his was in his pocket. He's like shaking the water out of it. He's like, still works. So I was happy about that. It's funny. Now, Heinz verified this, Randsanity. So many people, I ran to so many people I know, but they were like, oh, you're back. Like they think I'm still on the road doing the show. I guess it's portrayed that way, that, because they did it in those little bites and they're doing it one bite a week. But it was like, oh, when did you get back? I'm like, oh, I got back from Cleveland for the show, right? I'm telling you all that I filmed it in a matter of 8 days, not 80. But apparently a lot of people know about it. Oh my God, I watched you, I saw you, this. I'm like, okay. And people know about this too. And I don't know if they're watching it, but that's interesting. So what are you doing now? What are you doing now? What are you doing now? What are you doing? Biggest question I got today. Because again, you go into Comfest, you see a lot of people I don't normally see because it's not really a concert. But that was my number one question I got. What are you doing now? 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 You know, my answer was, well, I'm doing construction, doing a handyman, doing a reality TV show, and I'm a co-star in. I had the Heinz verified cards. I'm like, here, take this. I didn't bring the QR code on stage. I thought about it, but I said, nah, that's just, I didn't want to be a dick. Basically, you know, my job is to promote Comfest and talk about, you know, people staying hydrated, where first aid is, about adult beverages, don't do bad things, you know, in the crowd, be good people, volunteerism, blah, blah, blah. So I stuck with the script and I did what I was supposed to do, and I didn't go down that path. So I wanted to be respectful of the community festival, you know, and I didn't want to get kicked off stage and not asked to come back. That's the thing. So I stayed till the very end. I got there way early because the MC in front of me, she got soaking wet. I felt bad for her. She got drowned. She was just drenched. At least I got under the tent before she did, because I guess she was doing something else, so she didn't get to the stage in time. But she was drenched. I felt bad. It really did. But I did get to the tent before her, so she was very, very wet. I'm gonna change this camera before it does it on its own, because we already figured out that that's gonna happen, right? So I didn't do it tonight. Shit. Pardon me. That was just a speaker hitting the ground. But I got there early, and I did my MC duties. I stayed the entire time. I read all the notes as I'm supposed to do, and then I made sure I went to both the stage manager and the supervisor to let them know, ask them, am I done? May I leave? Is it acceptable for me to go? Because I want to follow the rules, and you know, sometimes it's better to ask for permission than forgiveness. Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. This is one of those permission before forgiveness, because you kind of screw up and then I won't get invited back. So I don't want to have that happen, because that's not a good thing. That's not what you don't want, because then to get back in the good graces may never happen. So I didn't want to do that. So I didn't. I did get awesome parking. I still have parking karma. I don't know what that is. I had to park down there 3 times today. The first time I went to go down to go check on my fence this morning, because we put the fence up last night, and inevitably the sound guys are going to screw the fence up and move it. But I pulled up and someone was pulling out, and I was like, oh, and I parallel parked into a parking space that was right across from the entrance. I kid you not, stepped right out, right in. I was like, okay. That works for me. So I did my thing. The fence was screwed up, by the way. They had not put it back properly. It took me just a few minutes to link them together and move a couple of the pieces, but it was fine. The bands hadn't started yet. Then I went back the second time, and I found everything's coned off and marked off, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking. And I was like, I'll just pull in one of these spaces. And then I saw the meter reader guy, and I'm like, whoa, let's not do that, because I saw him running a ticket for someone because they didn't have credentials, whatever, parking in the no parking zone. I was like, oh, let's not do that one. That doesn't seem like that's going to work out for me. And there was a truck loading, unloading, and I was like, wait a second. This is not a loading zone. This is a parking spot. So I kind of just like scooched up and like backed right up against the truck. I was like, he can back up and get out of the spot, but I'm going to take the damn parking space. So and this was, at the entrance, it was as close as you can get without parking in the park, which I was like, all right, well, that's even more awesome. And then it got even better. As I was leaving the second time, I ran into the guy who was in charge of parking. He's like, oh, what did you do? Blah, blah, blah. Where'd you park? I'm like, oh, I just parked right there. I got a spot. He goes, oh, you're going to come back and MC? I was, yeah, I'm emceeing later, and I'll be back, the weekend. He said, oh, here, let me give you a parking pass. I was like, okay, sure. So he gave me a parking pass that I could then put on my windshield. So when I came back for the third time to do the MC thing, I was like, boop, went in my windshield, pulled right up to a parking space that I was designated to park in, and right into the festival. And when I came out of the festival, there's my car right outside. It was a beautiful thing. Parking karma. Don't know where I got it from. Don't know when I got it or how. It's just for some reason, I always get these amazing parking spaces. Ask anybody that knows me. I don't know why I get parking spaces, you know. I am not the MC tomorrow. I do not believe. I will make myself available to MC and be a substitute, because sometimes they need that, like the woman that had to leave early today. Someone calls in sick, something happens. So I make myself available to the MCs. But that's a fairly prestigious thing that people want, especially later in the day. Early shifts are, you know, not as prestigious, but like the closing out of main stage and stuff, that's a pretty, you have to work up to that. Nobody just hands that to you. You've got to prove that you know what you're doing, that you're able to, you know, read the notes. And I learned long ago to read all the notes, and I write stuff down. If I write it down, I can memorize it. If I just read it, I don't retain it as much. What I figured out is that if I write it physically down, not type it, but write it. If I write it down, I'll actually remember most of it, which is, I think that's just one of those muscle memory things. I don't know, like in school, if you take notes, taking the notes as opposed to typing the notes, I think you have better retention. I'm sure there's an experiment somewhere. We can go Google that and find out, but that's how that works. So I write my notes down so I can tell you still that, you know, Willie Phoenix is playing in El Dorado, or El Dorados on July 19th. And Watershed is playing at Natalie's Grandview on August 15th. They have 12 studio albums. They've been around for 40 years. So it's just because I wrote it down, and it's, all those things make it easy to remember. So I made lots of notes. So I took all my notes. But no, I do not believe I am emceeing tomorrow, unless I got a call because they need someone to fill in of said MC duties, which I would be happy to do. Because there's a lot of cool bands tomorrow. I know tomorrow night Woosley Band's playing, Friends of Elephants are playing, the Warm Flints are playing. May have to go see the Warm Flints. Mathematics are playing. But yes, there's a lot of good bands playing tomorrow night again. Now tomorrow is a chance for rain. Not that there wasn't a chance for rain apparently, because you saw the deluge that happened during Weed Demon. And now the backstory about Weed Demon is kind of funny. I'll give it the quick backstory because again, brevity is not my strong suit if you haven't figured that out yet. But Weed Demon was supposed to play like 6 years ago. And when the underwriting for the insurance happened, the band was deemed a high risk for moshing, so they would not insure them. So the band did not get to perform, and there was a second band as well. They got bumped because the insurance would not underwrite them. And Jordan, the lead singer, was telling the story tonight about how he got a call from the news station, one of the news stations, and at 5 o'clock, they, you know, because the news and media love to, the negative stories is what you want to do. Positive, happy, fluffy, light stories aren't always great. You want to have the negative stories, scare factor, whatever. But he was talking about how he couldn't stop laughing, and to this day he still is, that there was this news crew that filmed all this stuff, and then at 5 o'clock in the news, you know, here's these anchors saying, "Weed Demon," and he's like, yes. You know, promoting his band. And I'm like, that's pretty funny. But they get to play tonight about 70% of their set because the rain thwarted the rest of their set. So they still have not had a full set of Comfest, which I think is ironically funny. Also the fact that he had all his merchandise out, the band had their merchandise out, it wasn't under the tent. They had it sitting out there. So, I mean, he was just wringing the t-shirts that he had for sale out like water's just pouring off of him because, you know, it poured, as you saw. So it was most hilarious. I was highly entertained by all of this today. I hope you were too. So my day in musical history was today. Willie Phoenix, Watershed, Weed Demon. and a few other bands that I got to see. So you really, really want to make sure if you're around and you are of that mindset, it is free. There's food, there's adult beverages. There's also non-adult beverages. It's very kid friendly. It's not really dog friendly because it's loud and it's hot. So don't bring your doggos because guess what? They're going to get scared by fireworks in a week anyway, so why traumatize them twice? Just saying, that's what's going to happen. You know it. You know, the dog's going to be wearing one of these little thunder outfit and hiding under the couch or wherever your dog can squish onto little spaces because the fireworks are going to freak him out. Just saying. But yeah, stop down. It should be fun. I believe I'm going to make it back tomorrow evening to see the Warren Flints. Highly recommended. As well as the other bands. I mean, there's a lot of bands, and it goes all day. Like I said, they've got good food, family friendly, except there are potentially girls that are topless with painted boobs, which is a real thing. I mean, it's a regular thing. So don't be surprised if you go down and see that. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. Yeah, you'll see that. Because I believe in Columbus, Stormy Daniels, remember Stormy Daniels? She did a promotion at the State House years ago and went topless to promote her show. They arrested her and it went to court and it went all the way to the Supreme Court and they said that women's breasts are not sexual organs. So topless in Columbus is not against the law for women. I mean, if guys can do it, I mean, there's definitely some men I don't want to see topless, so why can't women do it? You gotta love the equal rights. Sometimes it's okay. But anyway, yes, there are topless dudes and topless women at Comfest. And again, both sexes sometimes should absolutely keep their clothes on. Just saying. Like the naked cowboy dude. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. That's just me. I'm sure I'll get hate some for it, you know. And yes, the rain was awesome, though it was so hot. It was so hot. It was so hot. It was amazingly hot. And the rain just cooled it down, but it was brutal. I was very schwitzy beforehand, and I got soaked from the rain, so. And I wore long pants because, you know, the only person that can wear short pants on stage is like Angus Young from AC/DC. Everybody else, or a drummer. Drummers can get away with it, but MCs, yeah, no, you just can't do that. I can't be on stage with short pants with my legs showing, my spindly white non-sunshine seeing legs. It just doesn't work that way. So I did not wear short pants today. I wore long pants, even though I wanted to wear short pants because it was so freaking hot. Such is life. I did get people that were like, hey, can you come do work? So I found more jobs, which is amazing. You know, not the ones I want that don't require me to be laboring in the hot sun, but hey, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Thank you, Dory. But much fun. And I hope that you get a chance to go down there and you get to enjoy this beautiful Columbus free festival with all the live music. Suggested to a few people. Now I'm suggesting it to you. So go down and check it out. All right, so I made it 27 days. I kept my streak intact. I have extended into the next day, so there'll be 2 today, technically. There'll be a double, because we did do something on the 27th, but now there'll be something on the 28th as well. So now it is no longer Sunglasses, Onion, Ice Cream Cake Day, PTSD Awareness Day, or Orange Blossom Day. It is now today. So it is National Mural Day, National Foodie Day, National Logistic Day, National Alaska Day, and National Insurance Awareness Day. None of those things I think I can do. Foodie, maybe I can do some foodie. I'm not doing Alaska tomorrow. And I definitely am not doing a mural. That would take way too long. Maybe I'll get a picture with a mural. Who knows? But anyway, that's where that's at. I appreciate you for being here and stopping in, saying hello. It was a pleasure. I felt very honored to be on the main stage tonight with Willie Phoenix and Watershed. I love doing that. It was so nice to be out and about and get to see so many happy faces of people I knew. Give a few shout outs from the stage for people. just, you know, I'm very appreciative of the recognition, even though sometimes it's a little bit hard. I'm not going to lie. You know, it's like this slow motion train wreck. I miss the station. I'm like, yeah, I miss it too. Yes, I do. And then people want stories. I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to give you a story. It's not. It's still raw. 18 months later, and I'm still just, you know, not over it. Probably never will be, but that's all right. I'm over it. Trust me, I'm way over it. All right, so it is tomorrow, so it's today, which is technically from the beginning of this show, tomorrow. That means that I'm going to bid you all a fair adieu so that I may go eat something, because I literally ate nothing today. I had a little guacamole. And why does guacamole get so brown so fast? I mean, I know it isn't bad. It's not spoiled. It just gets that oxidation. It goes from that beautiful happy green to like brown, like it looks like a bruised banana, which I don't eat a bruised banana, but I eat brown guacamole. One of those pet peeves. But yes, all I had was literally like 4 or 5 chips and a couple of scoops of guacamole all day. So I'm wondering why, you know, I'm 190 pounds now. Lack of eating, people. You want to lose weight? Don't put food in your system. That's how that works. I'm sure that's not healthy, but I'm fasting unintentionally. Who knows? But that's where it's at. I will, now that I can know that I can do audio, I will try and go back and maybe show some of the other videos that I tried to show before, when the audio failed miserably. And then I'm going to try my best to get some sort of routine down where I can film stuff and then have videos to present, so I can show them over my shoulder. This one, no, this side, right, this side. So I can show them over my shoulder. You can see them in a little box there, and then I can go expand, and you can watch them with audio. That's my ultimate goal, be able to do that, so I can sort of talk about a story, and then there it is. You can see what I'm talking about, and then I can kind of hit the buttons while I haven't not even to look at it. It'll play, and I can open it up. That's the goal. Because I don't have a secret producer. I mean, I have a secret producer, but just I don't have a producer who pushes buttons. I mean, I push buttons, don't get me wrong. I push all the buttons. But that's just the way of my people. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. As always, I appreciate you. And if you're watching at a later time and date, thanks for watching at a later time and date. I will try and get all the little bugs worked out and continue down this path of internet fame and fortune. Because at the moment, I have neither. I would like them both. So let's continue that path together. As per usual, until I create some sort of an end card, which I had one before, I just had to have it produced, because again, I don't know what I'm doing. As per usual, I will say those words, and we will fade to black. Thank you.